Hey everybody, this is Sean Riley with Riley Real Estate and MassHomesale.com with this week's Q&A Saturday video. This week I'm going to be answering the question of should I sell my house FSBO, FSBO, which stands for sale by owner. Basically that just means you are going to be selling your home without the aid of a real estate agent. The reason to do this obviously is to try to save on commissions. If you don't value what a real estate agent can do, paying anywhere from generally 5 to 7% of your sale price in order to have them help you sell your house, it doesn't seem that valuable to you. So that's the main reason to do this. If you have a lot of experience in real estate, if you are an agent or a former agent or have done a lot of transactions in the past, maybe you can pull everything off yourself without it being that big of a deal. If you have not done very many real estate transactions, the real estate agent can help you a lot with it. But it's always debatable. Some agents are great and can bring a lot of value. Some of them don't do very much, and it seems like you're just giving them a lot of money for no reason, which is why people try to do this. When you are marketing your property, one thing to keep in mind is you generally will still need to pay the agent that's working with the buyers. Now, if you find somebody who's not working with the agent, that's different. But if the people who are looking to buy your house have an agent, you're generally going to have to offer a commission to them, or the buyers have to pay it, in which case they're going to offer you less for it. So in the end, that all is going to wash out. Obviously, if you can find somebody who's not working with an agent through a private sale, through some sort of marketing, or just somebody that's actually the main time people do this, is when they kind of know the person wants to buy it, so you can save on all those kind of commissions and stuff. But just in general marketing, if you put a sign out in the yard and post stuff online or whatnot, you're going to get a lot of people who are working with agents, in which case you're still probably going to have to pay cheap end, probably 1.5, more likely 2.5 to entice people to come there. Because even though real estate agents do have a fiduciary duty to do the best for their client, they are people. They're working a job, they want to get paid. If you're not offering anything to them, then a lot of times it's not in their client's best interest, because they're going to be responsible for paying them. And it's obviously more enticing for somebody, to be getting offered a commission that's similar to what they would be getting for showing their clients listed properties. So, if you are going to do this, like I said, it's perfectly fine. You do have to be careful of some stuff. You want to make sure you price your house right. These days it is easier than it used to be, because there are so many online resources. Things like Trulia and Zillow, you can look up recent sales and comp out your property yourself. One thing you definitely want to do, though, if you're doing that, is not use things like the Zillow Zestimate to set your price. They're notoriously inaccurate. We actually did a video recently on that I'll link to. Other things you want to think about are, when you're doing your offers and contracts and stuff, things about inspections. The buyers will most likely want to get an inspection. We also did a video on that recently I'll link to. If your potential buyers are trying to get an FHA loan, there's a lot of red tape and requirements that go with that. We actually did a video on about your property qualifying for an FHA loan. That I'll link to, and then a more in-depth article about all of the potential issues that could come up with dealing with FHA buyers. Again, I'll link to that as well. And like I said, you do have to be prepared to pay something for commission generally for the majority of buyers who are working with agents. But not everybody is, like I said. So if you can find those buyers, that's where you really score in these situations. And there are reasons not to use an agent, even for buyers. I actually did a video recently on that we'll link to as well. Really, there's pluses and minuses to both sides. You should definitely familiarize yourself with offers and contracts and inspection clauses and financing clauses and stuff like that, so you understand what's going on if you're going to do this yourself. If you're in Massachusetts or New Hampshire, especially in Massachusetts, you're going to have to work with an attorney to do the closing anyway, so you might want to search that person out, and they might be able to help you a little bit getting through some of the contracts. It might cost you a little bit more, but probably less than what a real estate agent would charge for a commission. But in general, if you want to have the most exposure for your house on the retail level, like if it's a nice house that owner occupants will want to move into, probably listing with an agent and getting it on the MLS is the best way to do it. There are also situations where you can pay an agent just to put it on the MLS and they get a flat fee as opposed to a commission, so that's definitely something you want to look into if you are going to try to do a for sale by owner, because that way at least you get the most exposure for your house. In those situations, you definitely want to make sure you offer a commission, because if it just says 0 in the commission line, then again, like I said, a lot of agents probably won't even show it. But aside from that, like I said, there's advantages and disadvantages. If your house is going to have a problem qualifying for like the FHA financing or conventional financing of any sort, if it's a fixer-upper, an investment property, that kind of stuff, this is where doing something for sale by owner could be a little more advantageous, because if your pool of buyers are going to be mostly investors anyway, somebody like me or another investor will often buy on our own without using an agent, so we would be able to do the transaction for you, and that's where you wouldn't have to pay on either side, so no commissions at all. Pretty standard thing that an investor offers. So that's definitely one of the places where it's an advantage if your house needs a little more of the TLC. But like I said, if you have a lot of experience in real estate, it could be good. Otherwise, like I said, you should definitely at least consider using an agent, because they can save you a lot of hassle and guide you through the process more. If you do use an agent, the most important thing is to vet them. There's good agents and there's bad agents, and mostly mediocre agents. So trying to find ones who are good is obviously the key in that respect. So that's about it. If you have any questions or comments, want me to elaborate anything, as always, you can put them in the comments below. And if you have questions you'd like to see answered in a future video, you can put it on our Facebook page, our Twitter account, send an email to info@masshomesale.com, or just leave something in the comments here, go to the website, fill out a form, whatever. But until then, I will see you guys next week, okay? Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.